At Jesus Warriors Club. Topic: tortured souls. I talked about astral projection, ability to be able to detach oneself from the body. For visitations to other paranormal spheres. Today I'm going to talk about what happens to souls that are captured, souls that are tortured. These are souls that keep echoing after death. When you look at the magical books, the grimoires, those are the books I was telling you, those magical books, because you go up to the ancient prophets, the prophets of renown. For instance, Abraham had a grimoire, had grimoires. Solomon had grimoires. Moses had grimoires. Name any, they had grimoires. What happens is that when we pass on, what is in us, the spirit, the ghost, the genie, whatever it is, that thing that is in you, that thing that has got a lot of abilities, that thing that when Jesus and other teachers of the paranormal were teaching, talked about the soul that has got a lot of powers. Because Jesus is noted to have said, if you believe, you can tell that mountain, be cast into the ocean, and it shall be cast. That thing with those abilities within you is sometimes trapped by magic. There are people who are able to put spells so that at the time of leaving the body, the soul is caught in a confused manner. It is caught in a mirror. You've heard people talking of spirits in mirrors. So it keeps a reflection of its last life. And the person with witchcraft abilities can be able to access the spirit in the mirror, use it for certain purposes, and it gets back to the mirror stage. So it keeps mirroring its life, the last time. The last time is a repetition, it's an echo. The others who are caught in an astral loop, an astral limbo, they don't depart the world of the living. They don't get to the next place that the soul was destined to. It can be because of traumatic death, an accident, maybe burning in fire. Sometimes what the occults do, and that's how they do what they do to trap the souls. That's why there is torturing, name calling, all those things. And then they kill people by torturing them slowly by slowly, keeping them in confusion, so that when the soul leaves the body, it is caught in an astral loop. It cannot be able to move forward. This can last for a century, can last for several centuries, can last for a decade, can last for a few years, depending on the power of the spell, depending on the ability that was cast on that person. Sometimes it is confusion. One was not prepared. one had big plans in life. A sudden death occurred, an accident occurred, and the soul was in denial, not ready to go. So it keeps echoing the last moment, the last moment. And thus it does not proceed to the next destination. And within that sphere, it can be utilized. That's why you find people with abilities like clairvoyance. You know clairvoyance? Somebody can be able to look at you like this and tell you the amount of money you have in the pocket, the things you have in the pocket, everything you have, without touching, without moving. It is such a spirits that are able to penetrate. Sometimes in psychic abilities, some of those spirits are implanted into people, and they're able to read you, read your mind, read you. Some of those spirits are sent on dirty errands. Others may be sent to go and observe. Like those who have had experiences of going to witch doctors, of going to magicians, of going to shamans. In Kenya, mostly those who have gone and has the experience, they say when you go to those people, they will remove their paraphernalia and they tell you, wangwana, the gentlemen or the ladies. Wangwana, 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 gentlemen, gentlemen, or ladies, arise. What is happening in the family of this person? Move around the spheres, go to his home, and within that time the spirit is able to travel to that particular home, find out what is happening, and bring back the answers. Those are trapped souls. They are able because they move in real time. For those people who want to commit crimes, sometimes they take very tortured spirits. That's why they torture people a lot. So that the spirit is always in a state of revenge. That's why it can be sent to far away places. For instance, you are in Tokyo, or you are in New York, or you are in Rio de Janeiro, or you are in Newcastle, or you are in Melbourne. Somebody here will call the gentleman, the wangwana, asking for the termination of your soul. And if he calls it now at this time, the time you will be terminated is exactly the time that was here. So it moves in real time. If we interpret the Australian time or the Brazilian time or the American time, the time that thing was ordered here is the very time it happened there. They have got those abilities to move within those speeds. You have got that ability within you when you are alive. Interesting. So that's why people who are captured mostly in occults by the occult groups and they are taken as sacrifices. They die very painful deaths, a lot of torture, a lot of degradation, a lot of abuses, so that the soul is aching for revenge. Even if they get rid of me, I'll come back for them. So you have a benevolent soul. A soul that can cause a lot of destruction. And those are sent on destructive errands. There are others that are inflicted with so much fear. That's why some people, if one is able to access some of the videos that some of the occult people or such a people use in such a situations, they are able to terrify people, beat them up, threaten them, and even order them to fall into a fire, and they'll fall out of fear. When that fear has been inculcated into the soul is confused, it's in limbo, it cannot be able to move to the next destination. So this soul is a very fearful soul and can be ordered on errands. Order! And it moves very fast because the last thing it knew was fear. And that's why you'll find that most of the people who are killed in occults undergo a lot of torture, a lot of abuses, a lot of everything imaginable and unimaginable, so that the soul is either intimidated to the least point or angered to the least point. The same happens to those who eat bodies for longer life. I told you about that. Life stealers. They also torture the body. Sometimes they eat the body raw, because the soul is not ready to live out of that anger, out of that frustration, out of that confusion. So they are able to consume pieces and pieces of this. The soul is scattered in different manners. So it's able to live for a certain length of time until when the scattered pieces will be able to regenerate, because obviously no matter how much you scattered it, different people ate the bodies, different things ate that. Eventually it will get back together. It may be a centuries, but eventually it finds its way to where it was destined, but it is a delayed, torturous destiny. So these are the things that are used in witchcraft. These are the things that are done to the spirits that keep wailing around. Sometimes it's sudden things that happened in their life. Sometimes there are attachments in that they are caught in limbo. They cannot be able to move forward. They cannot be able to exit this present world to the next destination because they are in confusion. It's like they are in a mess. Or others are caught in mirrors. Or others magically are imprisoned in bottles, so that they are given orders and they return back within that enclosure. They are able to exit, but they are not able to exit to the next world. They are able to exit the mirror, but the reflection always brings them back to the mirror. So they are stuck within those mirrors. And sometimes when their soul is leaving, the mirror breaks. Sometimes when you enter a house that there was malevolent spirits, and there is a release, the mirrors within the house break. A mirror or mirrors break, so that those spirits that had been imprisoned get a release. When they get a release now, they settle in the new life, and whatever activities were happening, if the house was haunted, it stops being haunted. If there were banshee, those spirits that scream and move around, noises, that voice suddenly disappears. If there were visions, specters that were being seen in areas, then after a while, those specters are not seen anymore. They have gained release. So there are ways that people get entrapped into this. There are agreements that we make for granted. For instance, blood agreements. There are some people will tell you, we exchange blood, suck my blood, I suck my blood, we take an oath. It ties you. Sometimes it ties your soul in confusion. There are people who are given certain gifts by people from the occult, and you are told there are certain things from the occult, stick with them. After some time, you find they can be able to induce that imprisonment. There are people who go to people who are able to practice paranormal activities for fame, for money. After you use those things, you realize that you can also get trapped in that. And there are those who attend places that go to places that will endanger them, meet spirits in that area that are able to interfere with their spirits as they go. Or others are killed by spirits and they entrap the spirit. So until when that spirit will leave, this one is caught in limbo. And those who are able to utilize these spirits that time, they utilize them. There are some traditions where they say there are some magicians, people with paranormal abilities who are able to swallow the souls. So they become powerful in whatever they do. They can do extraordinary things. They can do disappearing acts. You've heard of people who come, you go to the house and you can't find them. And sometimes they are there. A disappearing act. It is a covering by these spirits. So, tormented souls are the ones that have engaged in such a kind of exit from the body. Otherwise, if a body is not tormented, is not imprisoned, there are times when it lingers for a while, moving from relative to relative. It's like saying goodbye. Sometimes the relatives will not even notice, but it will move from place to place. Or sometimes people get dreams about the people who have just left. Or sometimes it visits the house. If it was the wife or the husband visits the wife, visits the husband, you see in a vision you are engaged with this person, and then after some time, those things go like that because it was saying goodbye to the world, departing on its journey to the other place. Those are things that happen to the soul when it's exiting the body. To those who did not have any attachments in this world, it exits and goes within a short time. Maybe sometimes it disappears before the body is buried, or sometimes immediately after the burial of the body, it's able to exit, and it does not exit, and it does not cause much trouble. People don't get dreams about them. You don't see anything because they had an easy exit to the next plane where they're supposed to go, to the next phase, to the next place where they're supposed to exist. So that is the trouble that happens. And that is what people in occults, people in witchcraft, people want to elongate their lives, people want spirits for enslavement, for use, for misuse, are able to trap them in that manner. I talked of mystic, Kariango going mystic. Yes, you've heard the message. This is Kariangofo saying, Kariango, carry the message and go. That's my take for now.